Hello, I am Mixed Light, and this is my podcast. How are you, Rob?
Okay, thank you. A bit blocked up and hay fevery, but I'm okay.
I am too. It's from that. Ours is from that cloud from Africa. They had a big dust storm and it came this way, and apparently I'm allergic
I think
to.
we've got it as well.
Oh, do you?
Because I had my car cleaned on Monday, and it's all covered in like sand.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Well, yeah, well, it's wrecking me. So, thanks, Africa. Before we get started, if you would give this video a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. Helps the channel a lot. If you would like to be subscribed, please do so. It's completely free, and I've been told that it ups your chances of winning the lottery. Also, you'd have to buy a ticket. And if you'd like to be notified when my content goes live, go ahead and click that bell. I'm going to have a link below for merchandise and for Rob and I's road trip. If you would like to donate money towards that, we are getting our gas money together as we speak. Thank you guys so much for your donations. We really, really appreciate it. I mean, this would be the best for me and Rob to go. And what the plan is, for those of you who don't know, is that we're going to go do a road trip of the New England area, all the haunted, scariest places of the New England area. And we're going to, take video of it and see how it goes. See which one of us breaks first. That'd be fun. So anyway, if you would like to look into any of those, the links will be below. Some of you have already gotten my merchandise. Thank you. I appreciate that. And if I see you walking around wearing an Exit Light sweatshirt, I am going to
run away.
Jump on top of you, probably. Like, bestest friend. Run away. They should probably run away if they see some strange woman running towards them. Okay, so what are we doing today, Rob?
Haunted hotels in the UK and in the US.
Haunted hotels. Which we're going to stay in, so if we go to New England, right?
Yep.
I think our major plan is to rent an RV, and that way we can stay by, like, graveyards and whatnot. But some hotels we have to stay in, like Lizzie Borden, bed and breakfast. Eat your food or lose your head. Right?
Right.
So, I'm going to do a couple hotels that I've also been to.
Yeah, obviously.
Of course. I've been there. So, I have several more than you. So, would you like me to get started first?
You better add to, yeah. Is this one you stayed in?
Huh?
Is this one that you stayed in?
No, I haven't stayed in this one. Although, I have been in it, and maybe partook of some alcoholic beverages, a little too many. It's the Manoa Surfrider, which is a Western resort in Honolulu, Hawaii. It was built in 1901. On February 28th, 1905, the untimely death of Jane Stanford, who was the co-founder of Stanford University, made headlines. Stanford was vacationing in Hawaii following a strychnine poisoning attempt on her life and died in her room at the Moana. Guests and staff have seen her walking at night trying to find her room. So somebody tried to poison her. She goes on vacation after that, which I don't know that. Like, I almost got poisoned. If anybody needs a vacation, it is me. She goes to Hawaii and then she dies in her room in Hawaii. Doesn't seem like it was probably an accident. What do you think, Rob?
Did she got poisoned before she went on holiday or while she was on holiday?
Yeah, she got poisoned before. She said that she was vacationing in what? Oh God, not this again. There is something about doing these podcasts that leaves me unable to speak. Stanford was vacationing in Hawaii following a strychnine poisoning. Yes. Following a strychnine poisoning attempt on her life.
Someone didn't like her.
Don't they say that it's generally somebody who cares about you or something if it's poisoning?
Yeah, because it's personal, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's personal. Yeah.
You have to get quite close to someone to poison them as well, really.
Right. Then she went on vacation, and isn't it possible that that person was with her then?
Well, yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. The point of the story is she walks around there at night trying to find her room. I would be trying to find my way out, but whatever. Okay, I'm gonna do another one if that's okay with you.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. The Bourbon Orleans Hotel in New Orleans. Before being converted, I haven't been. I've been.
Oh, there we go. See?
Yeah, I haven't stayed there. I have been there. Before being converted into a hotel in the 1960s, this nearly 2-century-old property served as a ballroom and theater, then a convent and an orphanage. Some of its rumored paranormal guests include a Confederate soldier who haunts the 3rd and 6th floors, children and women from the convent days, and a dancer who once performed at the theater. We stayed at a haunted hotel, and I'm going to talk about it coming up in a little while. And
So basically, I'm doing haunted hotels. You're doing talk about places that I've stayed.
Well, yes. Yes. We stayed at a haunted hotel. I've stayed there several times. It's coming up in a little while, but it's right next to what used to be the Ursuline nun convent. And they say there was babies buried in the wall, infants, newborns from unwed mothers.
Oh, great.
And you could hear them screaming because they weren't particular about if they were dead or not when they put them in the wall. And Jory's, my son Jory, for those of you who do not know, Jory's room was the room that faced that, and I happily looked out the window and said, "Oh my God, you get to stay next to the Ursuline nuns. They put dead babies in that wall. You could hear them cry." And he was like, "I'm checking out." He was so afraid that their AC went off in the middle of the night and they needed it turned on because they were roasting, and he wouldn't get out of bed to do that because he was afraid. And here I am, like, totally, "Oh my God, you're staying right across the street from the dead baby wall. How exciting."
Typical American.
I know. Well, typical somebody who, enjoys a good scaring. Anyway, so I'll talk about that hotel in a little while because it's creepy, but lovely, very lovely. Okay, would you like to go next?
Yes, please. The Adelphi Hotel and Spa in, as much as I hate saying it, Liverpool.
You hate saying Liverpool? Are they your enemy for football?
Yeah, very much so.
Oh.
But anyway, if you're going to stay in a haunted hotel, you might as well stay in the most haunted hotel in Britain. according to paranormal investigator and author Tom Sleeman. He even claims to have seen some of the ghosts while giving talks in the property's Sefton suite, which interestingly is an exact copy of the Titanic's first-class smoking lounge. Because it went from Liverpool, didn't it? I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Titanic, it sailed from Liverpool.
Okay.
Probably completely wrong there, but I'm sure somebody will tell me.
I have no idea, to be honest.
During one talk, there was standing room only, and he and many other people saw 3 men standing at the far end of the room who were all dressed as naval officers, white caps, dark jackets, with all the braiding. He told the Liverpool Echo, it's a newspaper, by the way. I was later told by members of staff that 3 ghosts, those was Captain Edward Smith of the Titanic and 2 unidentified officers. Though the property doesn't include the presence of paranormals in its description of the building and the building's rich history, a representative of the hotel group told the Echo it wouldn't surprise me if it was all true. Over the years, a few members of staff have reported seeing a grey lady in a Victorian-style dress in the basement, and we've also had reports of somebody hanging out of a window in the Crosby room.
Hanging out of a window?
Hanging out of the window, it doesn't really elaborate on that.
Like holding on to the...
I presume so.
Oh. Whoops.
Yeah, and everybody went to check the window and it was locked.
And
I have actually delivered to this place, and
you've been there?
Yeah, it's the only one.
Did you see the ghost hanging out the window?
I didn't see anything, to be honest. I had my eyes closed for most of the time. But yeah, it's just a big old hotel. It doesn't look anything special. And it's in Liverpool, so what do you expect?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know a thing about Liverpool. Wait, didn't the Beatles come from Liverpool?
Allegedly, yeah, they did, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's as far as it goes.
I'm not a big Beatles fan, to be honest.
I'm not either. There goes all of my subscribers. I'm not. I have one. It's called Battery Carriage House in Charleston, South Carolina, which I have not been to. I really want to go to South Carolina. This lodging proudly touts itself as Charleston's most haunted inn, and at the same time, are you ready? It's romantic. It's most romantic bed and breakfast. Oh, it's most haunted, and yet still it's most romantic. Those two go so well together. Even going so far as to tell the stories of several of its otherworldly visitors. On its website, there's a headless spirit that haunts room 8, an entire congregation in room 3, and a gentlemanly apparition in room 10. Well, it sounds like room 3 is way too full, so I think I'm going to stay in room 8 with just the headless spirit. What do you think?
You went off then. I couldn't hear what you said.
Really?
Yeah, it just went dead air.
Oh, I wonder if it did that for everybody. Okay, so what I said was, in case now I might be repeating it. There's a headless spirit that haunts room 8.
Yep.
An entire congregation in room 3, and a gentlemanly apparition in room 10. I think room 3 sounds too crowded, so I'm going to go for room 8.
Yeah, I would go for room 8 as well.
Yeah. Base. Yeah. I mean, no head, whatever.
That's 2 podcasts we've done now with headless people.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a headless drummer boy.
Yes.
Now we've got a headless whatever.
Yeah, person, guy. Here's one. The Driskill Hotel in Austin, which I have been to.
I've been there.
I've been there. The hotel in downtown Austin was founded in 1886 by Civil War Colonel Jesse Driskill, who is said to be one of the spirits that haunts the premises. Room 525 is considered to be one of the spaces with the most paranormal activity. 2 brides reportedly committed suicide in that room, exactly 20 years apart. Brides are killing themselves right and left in haunted stories.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, I don't either. It's a bit weird, that.
Yeah. And then there's always the brides. There's always the women who, walk the halls, stand on the property, blah, 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 looking for their lost boyfriend, husband, whatever, who was lost at sea or killed in war. And, all of the white ladies in every story are, I just want to shake them and go, ladies,
move on.
We're stronger than this. You're embarrassing us. Move on. If I am ever a white lady and you see, they're like, oh my God, Tracy Johnson lives where she haunts where she lives. And then she's a white lady. Please get on the Ouija board and say, you're embarrassing yourself. Get out of here. Geez, at least be something remotely scary.
Yeah.
Do you want to go or should I?
No, I've got another one to do. Not all about you.
Every podcast. You're so cruel to me. I was just saying because I have 15 and you only have 5. But you know what? You do you, Rob.
Right, we're in London now.
Yay.
London, big London town. The Langham Hotel in London, in Regent Street, which is a very posh part of London. And it is a beautiful, beautiful looking hotel. Really, really lovely. If you're staying at this London hotel and notice a change in room temperature, don't bother calling down to the front desk to have the thermostat adjusted. You're probably just being haunted by a German prince. Legend has it that the troubled nobleman threw himself out of an upper story window at the property many years ago, still seen wandering the halls and walking through closed doors on the reg. On the reg?
What's a reg?
Oh no, was that nice?
What? Could you hear me drinking?
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice. Smart ass. This was quite nice, thank you.
But that's not even the most haunted tale in the Langham's 150-year-plus history. There you go. It's a new one, that. 150 years old, it's new.
It's brand new. It's just relic. I think I have one coming up that's really old.
Okay.
And I'm really old. I mean,
what's that, 40 years?
It's not 40 years. Okay.
Hang on, I'm not finished yet. I'm finished yet. Give me a chance. God, what's wrong with you? Calm down, woman.
I'm raring it a bit.
Right, according to ghoststories.co.uk, which I didn't know existed, in room 333, a BBC newscaster, BBC is the
British Broadcasting Communications or something.
Yeah, newscaster woke up to see. This has been wrote by an American. Newscaster woke up to see a fluorescent ball of light which slowly began to take human shape and hover 2 or 3 feet above the floor. Oh, and it was missing part of its leg. And dressed in extravagant Victorian evening wear. Instead of screaming his bloody head off, the announcer supposedly tried to communicate with the ghost. Tried to interview the ghost, didn't he? That's what he
Well,
tried to
he
do.
is a news broadcaster.
But the spirit slowly moved towards the newscaster with its outstretched arms, and then it just doesn't say anymore. So I have to leave you in suspense, but I'll try and find out what happened to the newscaster for the next time's podcast, because it just doesn't say anything else. So there you go.
What do you call news broadcasters? What do you call them?
Reporters.
Oh, yeah, we would call them reporters, yeah.
A news reporter, not a newscaster.
Oh, yeah, I think we'd. Well, I think probably, like 70s, maybe they were called newscasters. I don't know. Okay, so this is the Emily Morgan Hotel in San Antonio. Long before the Emily Morgan Hotel housed travelers, this neo-Gothic building was the site of a medical arts facility, complete with doctor's offices, a hospital, and a morgue. The 12th and the 14th floors, because we don't usually have 13th floors here.
Yeah, no.
The 12th and the 14th floors, the latter of which was formerly the site of the crematorium, are known as particularly active sites, as is the elevator. You made a hotel out of a hospital, and one of the floors was a freaking crematorium? Whose bright idea is that? That's gross.
Only in America.
Right?
Sorry, but it is only in America when you do that.
Uh-huh. I just can imagine being like, "How you know what we should do? That old hospital with the crematorium on the 14th floor. By the way, this 14th floor seems very high to have a crematorium."
I was thinking that usually would be in the basement, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm going to skip that one. I'm not going there.
By the way, my homework, I've just noticed, all the prices, it's like a travel page. It's in dollars.
Oh.
So it's probably been wrote for Americans. So that's probably why it says newscaster instead of reporter.
Newscaster. Newscaster.
That's how you say it, isn't it?
Yes, I was watching something the other day where this comedian was talking, and oh no, it wasn't a comedian. Sorry, it was Hamilton, and he says something that's like the way you say A's, however you say A's, like
A.
ah, and he goes, ah, is it ah? No, it's ah. Whatever. Don't make fun of my A's.
Right. The Mermaid Inn.
Do you know wait. Do you know what Hamilton is?
Do you know where Hamilton is?
What Hamilton is? It's a super famous Broadway play.
Never heard of it, sorry.
Okay, well, everybody rants and raves about how great this production is, and Disney put it on their Disney Channel so we could watch it, and so I was super excited. Got my chair, got my blanket, cuddled up, had a tea, and I thought it was. I only got a third of the way into it. I thought it was. Please don't hurt me, people. Horrible. It's not my thing. I think I don't like musicals. I think I've come to that conclusion.
The Greatest Showman was good.
I've never seen it.
It's really, really good. And I took my daughters to see Beauty and the Beast. That was good.
Yeah. I just don't like musicals. I really don't.
Frozen's good.
You're so big and tough.
It was good. I'm not going to care what anyone said. It was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Right, this place. This is a newish one in the UK terms. It's called the Mermaid Inn. The Mermaid Inn is kind of like the bad boy in high school who
Hmm.
knows he's being monitored by the
I
principal.
dated that guy.
Okay, thanks. The
Did.
bad boy in high school knows he's being monitored by the principal, but continues to cut class anyway. It knows it's haunted. It kind of likes it, so much so that it's even mentioned its creaking floorboards and 600-year-old haunting history as a selling point on its website. 600 years old.
That's old.
Yeah, that's history.
That's history. We know each other too well.
But discover the story behind the ghostly tales. As we do a little digging, according to legend, the inn was used as a stronghold for a band of smugglers and their mistresses, known as the Hawkhurst Gang, between 1730 and 1740. The picture that I've got of the hotel is a really, really old corridor, really creaky and old, and it's got loads and loads of different pictures hung on the wall. And I think you would love this place. I'll have to send you a screenshot of it later.
Oh, I would like that.
1730. It seems that 5 of them never left. From bottles shattering in the middle of the night to rocking chairs swinging on their own. There have been numerous tales of strange supernatural stories reported over the years. Although the property owner claims to have never seen the spirits since acquiring the place in 1980, she does admit, I certainly have met some very convinced and frightened guests.
Well, she's doing a disservice by not saying that she knows that there's ghosts there. She could make more money if she did. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but what if she doesn't know there's ghosts there? Some people don't ever see ghosts who want to see them.
I guess.
So she could lie, I suppose.
She could lie, I suppose. People do, you know. I guess it's better that she's honest, but duh. But it would be add more to the story than if she had seen them herself. But if she, whatever. Moving on. The Queen Mary in Long Beach, California. I have been there.
I'm in there.
I've been there. The legendary ocean liner, which once hosted royalty, dignitaries, and Hollywood stars, is now docked in Long Beach and is a stationary hotel. The ship is reportedly haunted by a sailor, a lady in white, and several children. The property offers several ghost tours, including one led by the ship's paranormal investigator. And I've told the story before, so if you've heard it, sorry. Okay, thank you. Don't need to apologize. So it is first I just take you into like where the engines are. To me, the scariest part of the ship was where you can look down to see the propeller, and two of my kids felt the same way about this particular room. When you look down to see the propeller and the water's like black, and I assume it's cold. And the propeller is huge. I don't know what about it is, but to me, that was the scariest part of the thing. And then I did catch a figure on film on our way to where the swimming pool was, and so I got to send it to the people who run the ghost tours, and they were going to publish it, and then I got to sign the guest book that tells my ghost story. So if you're ever there, look for me. Exit light. No, that's not what I wrote. But I get to tell how I saw I stayed behind. The whole group went into the swimming pool, and I stayed behind because I wanted to see if I could see something, and I sure did. And it was a black figure, and it was interesting, and it feels dark in the Queen Mary. It feels dark and damp and like it's been sank. As it feels like to me. It's just cold and
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's blah, blah, blah. It's nothing like the cruise ships. There's no happy music. Nobody's doing that thing under the stick. What's that called? You know?
Limbo.
Limbo. Nobody's doing limbo. Nobody's puking in front of you at the elevator. It's just dark, dank, damp, and ugh, I don't like it. It's full of nasty stuff, I think. So there you go. That was my experience there.
Excuse me.
You got something else?
Yeah, got another one. Yeah.
Sweet.
Check you out. You're really straight. Sweet.
Sweet.
Oh god. Right, we're going to Inverness.
Oh, yes, let's do it. If any of you people listening, you know Inverness from the what did I tell you the TV show was? The not Outsider, but Out. Come on, Rob.
What? Say that again, sorry.
What did I tell you? That just keep going. I'll figure it out.
It's called Castle Stuart. It's in Inverness. You know, everybody should know where Inverness is by the fact it's where Loch Ness is, where the Loch Ness monster is.
Oh. Outlander.
Okay.
Is a series that involves Inverness. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Before it was hailed as one of Scotland's premier golf destinations, this castle served as home to James Stuart, the Earl of Moray. For unknown reasons, the castle was deemed haunted by local residents. To disprove the theory, Stuart offered a reward to anyone willing to spend the night inside of its doors. A local minister accepted the challenge and stayed in the room at the top of the East Tower. The following morning, he was found dead in the courtyard with a look of terror on his face. That's it. Now, did he have terror? Did he have a look of terror on his face because he'd seen a ghost, or did he have terror on his face because he saw the floor approaching him really, really quickly and he jumped out the window?
Bingo, that's my guess. I would think that would be terrifying. Okay. Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
At this resort, no one. No one you can see, anyway. The resident invisible resident. What? The resident invisible resident here is Carolyn Stickney, who died in 1939. She is known to tap on doors and once inside your room, whether you invite her or not. She has no qualms about borrowing your belongings. However, she is a Victorian lady through and through, so she will return your possessions to exactly where she found them. Rumor has it that what is wrong with me? Checking into room 314 nets the best chance of spotting the princess, as she is known. Her 4-poster bed sits here, along with Carolyn, on the edge of it, in the middle of the night, if you're lucky. Or unlucky. Ooh. Lucky.
I thought that's what people call you, the princess.
The pretty princess. That's me.
Right. Excuse me. We're going to York now, in North Yorkshire. The Black Swan Hotel.
Ooh.
You won't just find one ghost at the York Hotel. At this York Hotel, according to the website, it's teeming with numbers of spirits, both in the public areas and the landlord's headquarters. The landlord's headquarters? You mean the flat? God,
Office. Maybe it's the office.
It's a headquarters. It sounds like it's just a pub, basically. A haunted pub. What is wrong with Americans? They have to big up everything. At the landlord's headquarters. Yeah.
It sounds better than
the landlord's flat.
Yeah. The man's flat. Flat what?
His apartment.
His apartment. Yeah. That's how you know if it's an American who wrote that.
What word do you use for just like a cheap accommodation?
A hotel. A motel, actually.
A motel. Can you live in a motel?
Some you can live in motel. Yeah, there's motels you can live in. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. You learn something new every day.
Well, you can live in hotels. When my husband was traveling, he would live in hotels.
Must be weird.
Well, it was great because he'd get a free breakfast. If you ran home at like lunchtime, they served free hors d'oeuvres, and at night they served free, or like sort of like, I don't know, like hors d'oeuvres, but savory hors d'oeuvres, and he loved it.
Okay. Right. So, anyway, let me carry on. The landlord's headquarters, one of the otherworldly regulars, is a workman in a bowler hat. A workman in a bowler hat who fidgets and fusses, giving the impression he is waiting for someone. Another frequently spotted ghost is a young woman in a long white dress, again, cliche,
Yada yada yada.
who stands in the bar in the back room gazing into the fireplace. But if those two apparitions aren't quite terrifying enough, then gear up for the fright of your life. Numerous guests have reported seeing two detached legs strutting around the property without any sign of a body in sight.
Awesome. Would that scare you?
No, that would just make me laugh.
That wouldn't scare me either. I mean, let's try it. Let's see if it scares me, but I don't think it would. I've dealt with much scarier things than that before. I think it'd be like, that's all you got? Literally, that's all you got? Can't even bring your whole body?
Oh, dear me.
Are you done?
Yep.
Okay. Back in the 1920s, this is Grove Park Inn, which is in Asheville, North Carolina. Back in the 1920s, a young woman either jumped or was pushed to her death from her 5th floor, room 545 to be exact. Nearly a century later, employees and guests still report her presence, most often as a pink mist. That's disgusting. Or a woman in a flowing pink gown, hence her name, the Pink Lady. Allegedly, young children. This is funny. This makes me laugh. Allegedly, young children are particularly sensitive to spotting her. So if you really want a glimpse, you know who to let loose on her trail. That's so dark. Like, make sure you bring your kids. Tell them to go sniff out a ghost. Honey, get the baby out of the car seat. So weird. We didn't come here until after Alfred could walk. No. So we're going to have him look for the ghost. Okay, you got another one?
No, I'm all hoteled out now.
Okay, this is the town and country. Wait, this is I don't know how to say it. Otasaga? I don't know. It was a school. It previously was a school for girls in the wintertime. And the giggling of a gaggle of girls through the 3rd floor hallway is often heard when no children are checked into the hotel. Warning, they may be laughing at you, but they are young girls after all, so don't take it personally. The adults, however, do want you to take it personally. People have reported hearing their name called entirely out of nowhere, and here's what's going to get you going. Here's what's going to get you revved up. Ghost hunters investigated the property several years back and, through the miracle of modern technology, confirmed the presence of shadow figures, ghost whisperings, things that go bump in the night, which, by the way, if you would like my merchandise, I have a shirt that says I go bump in the night. Rooms on the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th floors have been deemed hot spots for haunting mischief. So if you want to go there to investigate, you and Zach Bagans. Can't get through a podcast without talking about good old Zach.
You're the one that keeps bringing him up.
I did bring him up that time. You are right. For you, though. It was for you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I cannot not talk about Zach Bagans. Right?
Right.
I want to talk about. There was one that I wanted to talk about. The Conchords Colonial Inn was made in 1716. There's history for you, Rob.
Yeah.
Due to the hotel's age and role in the Revolutionary War, the inn has been rumored to have a few resident ghosts. Many wounded soldiers were taken to Conchords Colonial Inn, which served as a hospital during the war. The most famous and sought-out spooky guest room is 424, which is weird because that is a number I know very well. The room was once the operating room of Dr. James Manoa, who had a practice in the inn during the Revolutionary War. Many guests who have spent the night in the infamously haunted room have reported very strange activity. More. Let's see. I want to do the one where I have stayed real quick, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Where'd they go? Okay. the Skirvin Hotel, which I did a whole thing on in Oklahoma. But I'm going to do it again. So if you'd like to, by the way, go look at my playlists and go look up the Skirvin Hotel, because I did a lot of stuff in the Skirvin as a ghost hunt. The Skirvin was built in 1910 by oilman W.B. Skirvin, who was determined to have the finest hotel in the Southwest. Opening its doors in 1911, the plush hotel had two 10-story towers containing 224 rooms. Which is one of the first buildings in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, to have air conditioning. Then they called it iced air. And they had it running ice water in each room. That's nice. A ballroom that seated 500. I've been there. And imported Austrian chandeliers that cost more than $100,000 each. Oh man, if I'd known that, I would have taken a ladder with me. Just saying. Skirvin's daughter, Pearl Mesta, brought the hotel to national reputation by being the ambassadress to Luxembourg and then Washington's hostess with the mostest, portrayed in the famed Broadway musical Call Me Madam. In 1930, a third wing was added, raising the structure to 14 stories and increasing capacity to 525 rooms. I think the most haunted floor is it's 9th or 10th floor. You'd have to look at my video. It's 9th or 10th. The Oklahoma Showplace became a popular speakeasy during Prohibition. It was during this time that W.B. Skirvin was said to have had an affair with one of the hotel maids. According to legend, the maid soon conceived. And in order to prevent a scandal, she was locked in a room on the top floor of the hotel. I think it was the 10th. I think it was the 10th floor, but whatever. The desolate girl soon grew so depressed that even after the birth of her child, she was still not let out of the room. Half out of her mind, she finally grabbed the infant child and threw herself, along with the baby, out the window. The maid's name remains unknown, but her ghost continues to haunt the Skirvin, and she was nicknamed Effie by former employees. The old hotel closed in 1988. Former guests would often report not being able to obtain a decent night's sleep due to the constant sounds of a child crying. Effie was apparently a woman of loose morals, and many men who have stayed in the hotel have often reported being propositioned by a female voice while alone in their rooms, and including the football player who changed his name to Meta World Peace. He says that he was molested in his room by a spirit when he played for the Lakers. Others have seen the figure of a naked woman with them while taking a shower. One man even claimed that he was sexually assaulted by an invisible entity during his stay, and that was Meta World Peace. Other strange noises and occurrences were reported by staff and guests, including things seemingly being moved around by themselves, such as the maid's cart being pushed down the hall. Blah, 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 blah. It opened again, and if you go there... NBA players from the New York Knicks claimed their game was off after a night of stay at the Skirvin in 2010. So have other NBA players staying at the hotel, according to a 2014 New York Times article. Maybe the ghost is attracted to NBA players. There was another experience in 2016 by a Los Angeles Lakers teammate. There you go. That's Meta World Peace. In fact, as a side note, basketball teams will not stay at the Skirvin anymore because of the creepy things that happen and They don't sleep the entire night before a game. So basketball teams no longer stay at the Skirvin. My husband and I went there for a murder mystery dinner, which was ideal for my birthday. And as soon as you walk in, you want to walk out. But let me say this. It is stunningly beautiful. The wood on the walls is hand carved. It's everything an old hotel should be, and much, much more, with the chandeliers and the furniture that they use. And it's these brass elevators. It's stunningly beautiful, but it feels like someone's trying to suck your soul out. It's really uncomfortable. And when you get upstairs and you're walking around, like my husband went to use the restroom and I was by myself, it feels scary. There's just no other word to describe it. Even my husband, who is very, very, very skeptical, although has seen things, but he said, I never want to go back here again. I will never come back to this hotel again. It feels bad. So that makes me want to go back, because it does. If you guys are ever in Oklahoma City, and I don't know why you would be, but if you are, stay at the Skirvin. You will not regret it. Okay, there's that one. And then my favorite one is the Hotel Provincial. This is the hotel that's across the street from the nuns and their baby wall, the Ursuline nuns and their baby wall. If you go to New Orleans and you're trying to find it, it is above the Christmas store. So if you find the Christmas store, that hotel above there, they'll see the balconies. That is the Hotel Provincial, which is perfect. You cannot be more down my aisle than to have a haunted hotel above a Christmas store. That is so me. The Hotel Provincial sits on land that was a grant from King Louis the
14th.
I think it's King Louis the 5th. What's an X and a V?
X and a V. 15th.
15. That's what I was going to say. I think it's the 15th. Okay. In 1718, Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne de Bienville claimed the area as the original La Nouvelle Orleans, which is, of course, New Orleans. After passing through different hands, a military hospital was constructed in 1722. There's your history, Rob. It's said the ghosts of soldiers still haunt the buildings. Guests have reported seeing wounded soldiers crying out in pain, only to disappear when they turn on the lights, or bloodstains that mysteriously appear in the bed covers, only to be gone when one looks again. Guests have also reported seeing sightings of a young female ghost seen in the Hotel Provincial, thought to be someone who cared for the ill in the hospital. And this is my experience in the Hotel Provincial. So I've stayed there several times, but I've only had a haunted experience one time, because the second time I stayed, we had taken a cruise and I was violently ill. So the only thing I saw was the pillow, and my family went and meandered around New Orleans, which was a bummer. I've been there plenty of times, so could have been worse. But the third time I stayed, I went with my son and his wife, and the over intake of alcohol could have hampered my sightings of ghosts, because I would have had to close one of my eyes. to see it straight. But the first time I stayed, we went on the first day of Mardi Gras. I took my daughter, Maya, who was 15 at the time. I've also gone when I took my daughter, Madison, who was 15 at the time, took her for her birthday. She was going to be 16. We stayed someplace else. But took Maya. We were getting ready to go out to eat for dinner, and we were going to go on a ghost tour. And it was going to be the second time I went on the ghost tour. If you guys go, stay in the French Quarter. There's no reason not to. And you want to stay there because if you have to use the restroom, you don't want to use the public restroom. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. So, but she was in the shower, and we were on a balcony where the walls, the windows are like, the walls are like 10-foot, 12-foot walls, and the windows are, well, they're that tall too, but they don't have doors to the balcony. You have to open a window, and the window opens to about 3.5 feet tall, so you have to like scrunch down and walk out. And every single day, our balcony would be filled with beads, decorative beads, because it was Mardi Gras, huge, lovely, expensive beads. And we would go and take them all off the balcony. And somehow the next day they would be there. Now, I know the maids did this, but we were in the room. So I'm not sure how they did. Maybe put a ladder up there or something. It was totally like Mardi Gras fairies. But when you open the windows, the long, sheer curtains blow in, and it was starting to rain. So keep this in mind. There's thunder. There's a little bit of rain. The long, sheer curtains are blowing in, and they blow clear across the bed. That's how long they are. And although there's 2 beds, but so it's total creep factor in this room right now, right? Like you would see it on a scary movie. She's in the shower, and I see a bloody handprint appear on the wall. Like it wasn't there, and then it was there faintly, and it got darker and darker, and I stared at it. I had a big Nikon camera that I would have had to get out of my camera case, unscrew the lens cap, blah, 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 focus it to get the picture. And I didn't want to move my head because everybody's story is, I saw Bigfoot. And then I moved my head to say, look, there's Bigfoot. And when I turned back around, Bigfoot was gone. So I was not turning my head. So I start yelling for my daughter in the shower. Maya, 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 Maya. She comes running out and then began like crying out of fear. So it was probably not the best mother moment of my life. But I had to have somebody else, verify that I was seeing this on the wall. And the best part of this is the floor we stayed on. The building we stayed on was the building that they used for a military hospital. In front of the hotel, on the sidewalk, in New Orleans, you can't alter anything. The color of a building, the streets, the design of a building, nothing. You can't alter it unless you own it, and you can do whatever you want on the inside, but not the outside, the facade. They would stack dead bodies up on the outside of the walls, up into the windows. They would stack dead bodies, which is creepy. So the ghost tour stops at this hotel to tell you about it, and I still stayed there. As a matter of fact, I went on that tour, heard that story. The next time I went a year later, I booked that hotel because I was like, this is a hotel for me. And the room we were staying in, the floor we were staying in, was where they did the, what's it called when you cut off a limb? Amputations. And they would just like throw them out the window to the ground.
I think you told me about this.
Yeah. And so to see a bloody handprint on the wall was not unexpected. I mean, considering its history, this room. But how crazy is that?
That's crazy.
It was. The next time I stayed, we had a huge, huge storm. The next time that was just shook. My son and his daughter-in-law, our rooms attached, and it was just shaking our rooms, which was perfect because Jory was scared. And I loved it. But we sat in a bar drinking, and the ghost tour came by. And so we got below the window and would like put our camera up and just do a flash of light so that the people taking pictures who weren't really paying attention would get home and go, oh my God, there was an orb. To fark with them, because that's also me. But anyway, so those are my hotels. Did I hit 15? I
I'm not
cut
sure
a
how
few
many.
out.
Yeah.
So, Rob, we should go to New Orleans.
I know you keep saying we'll have to go one day when I win the lottery.
We could go to New Orleans instead of going to New England. But I think that New England would be perfect for the road trip.
Yeah. Yeah, we wanted. Yeah, I think I prefer New England.
There would be so much more. I mean, everywhere you turn, everything's haunted, and it's a selling point for houses there. They say, for sale, haunted, or you can't get away with that some other places. No, I like Salem, Oregon. They probably do that. But where I grew up in Washington State, that would probably make it less likely to buy the house. Not me though. So there you go. There's my experience with those hotels.
It's brilliant.
Did I bore you, Rob?
No, not at all. Not at all. I thought it was a really, really good podcast, to be honest. Not that I know I'm biased a little bit, but I think it's a really, really good one.
I had a good time looking up stuff for this and knew right away that I was like, oh, I gotta. My son stayed at the hotel that is the basis for The Shining. He went on his honeymoon there. So, my family's a little bit like the Munsters, I think, in this regard. So I guess we'll just go ahead and wrap that up then.
Boom.
And if you guys, please, I've said this on the last podcast, if you guys will send me in your personal haunted paranormal stories, UFO stories, cryptid stories, whatever you want to send in, I will narrate them, tell people about your story. During the 31 days of Halloween, we want to make the 31 days of Halloween as community oriented as possible. If you would like to write a story and send it to me to narrate, I will do that, and I will of course give you full credit. No doubt about that. So don't worry about that. And it won't be written down, so as long as it's not written, somebody else can't take it. Which is why I never post my stories, my original stories, on any like Reddit or Wiki, creepypastas, or anything like that. So I'm going to be giving away a gift card in the 31 days of Halloween, and you're thinking, why are we talking about this so early? Because you'll turn around and in 2 months it's going to start. So I'm trying to get you guys to go ahead and send me your things so I can get it lined up, because I will put it in the queue and get my queue filled up for the 31 days. I already have a couple of stories in the queue for the 31 days. if you have anything paranormal-ish or whatever that you want to tell, send it. Mad Meerkat, I'm talking to you. He's going to be doing some true murder mysteries for me.
Ooh.
Yeah. Diabolical Witness. Ryan, I'm going to interview you. And he did. Anybody who listened to our last podcast, he did call me a douchebag, and I totally deserved it. So I'll admit it, I totally deserved it. But if you guys would like this video, that would be great. I'd appreciate it. If you are not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Completely free. Gives you a 10% higher chance of winning the lottery. I've heard. I don't know. Could be a crazy rumor. I'm not saying it's true. And if you would like to be notified when my content goes live, go ahead and click that bell. Even if you guys are already subscribed, every once in a while, click the bell to make sure that your notifications are on, because YouTube has a way of taking those off. And I'll have a link to my road trip with Rob to
Yay!
Yes, to see all the scary things we can fit in, and to my new merchandise. And so, thank you, and good night.
Good night, good morning, wherever you are.
Bye.
Bye.